I think what we've done is we look at the market in a very similar way. So a lot of what we've talked about is on an average level in terms of the country GDPs and so forth. But obviously we all know that the actual investments are located in the individual cities. So we've looked at it through the concept of winning cities, in a sense of trying to recognize those cities where we have a strong population base in terms of education, in terms of workforce, in terms of growth for the cities. And that's a very interesting tool in terms of looking at where to invest. And if you look at the Nordic capitals, they all tick the box. So they are all growing. They're all benefiting from urbanization and people moving into the cities. And if I should pick two examples where it's quite interesting at the moment is probably Helsinki and Copenhagen, both because they're both committed to very big infrastructure investments by the expansion of the metro lines in both of the cities. So that's really pushing, in the case of Helsinki and really Copenhagen as well, to then make the cities more densely populated, opening up a lot of investment opportunities, big scale development and construction as well. So that's probably something that's really interesting, and we've also participated in that in terms of a lot of the opportunities in rezoning some of the land, which is now essentially old industrial area, which we know that will turn into big densely populated residential areas in the matter of next 5 years or so. So that's a big change, and obviously that's very attractive to be part of that.
So rather like Crossrail here in London, which has then created new office destinations in a way, or certainly help create new office areas. You think the same is going to be true in Copenhagen and Helsinki?
Well, one of the things, the slide that was about Copenhagen and Helsinki not having any growth in the office market rental level is also because you need to understand that first of all, CBD, as you know it in some areas, or you have in Stockholm. In Copenhagen, you have 4 different CBD areas, and the city is growing. So there's been land where you could keep building on. In Stockholm CBD, there is no land. If you want to be in Stockholm CBD, you have to pay the rent that there is in Stockholm CBD. That's why it's growing. Whereas in Copenhagen and in Helsinki, there are different areas and there is land to build, so people are just building a new building.
And that's the same for Malmö as well.
Exactly. So that's why there's no growth. So you can say, is that sexy? Is it not sexy? Do you want to do it? Depends on what you want to do. What tenant can you get?
No, Rikke, it's called stable.
It's called stable, yeah. It depends on how you look at it. If you want, so for a pension fund, I mean, Nordea is building a new headquarter in Copenhagen, literally 4 kilometers from the city center of Copenhagen. It's fairly huge. Danske Bank is going to probably build a new one that is literally 800 meters from the city center. So it's possible to do that in Copenhagen, thereby rents are not increasing. On the other hand, there is a very interesting opportunity to convert offices, the old offices, into resi, because, and that's another thing, is the Nordic region has fairly old buildings sometimes in the city centers. So office spaces are maybe not that updated, and that's when you build. So there's a number of things that you have to look into and know about the areas before you start investing. So yeah, talk to Catella, talk to Aberdeen, talk to Arim, or talk to us.